Please welcome with a big round of applause to Mr. Otto Wessely.
Wow!
Yeah, ciao Otto, my friend.
Can I roll already? Can I say something? I
You
will
can.
My English is not so. My English is not so good. That's why. Excuse me, my English is not so good. That's why I do this to heat up the audience. Can you see the stick in my hand? Maybe I should go a little down. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Yes. I got this
Yes.
49 years ago from Gaeta. He built it for me. And I would like to show you, that's why I showed you my oldest gags. I've done them since 71. And they bring me luck, because since 50 years, I was never out of business. Or I see myself, okay, so nice, more control. I was never out of business. And you know, in the good old times when I was young, we collected money for the old magicians. And now I'm old, we're collecting money for the young magicians. There's something different, Okay, these two gags which I have done, I've done it for a long time. They bring me luck. They're not so funny anymore. But if I let them die, this will be very sad. And in 50 years of show business, I must tell you, I'm the most fired act in the show business. But one thing, I always went back for the people that fired me. And I will give you later on at the end of the lecture, if you're still here, I will give you some advice, some rules. It's called how the art of getting fired. The Crazy Horse fired me 3 times. The Hilton in Las Vegas fired me only once, but after 3 months they came back, and many other things. The only persons that did not take me back, this was the clubs which went bankrupt, or when the boss suicided. So then there was an excuse. And I will give you now, what I wanted to say, I don't have lecture notes. I don't sell lecture notes, because here I have the lecture notes from the last 40 years. Red Cups, Conference from another magician. Here's Gator Bloom 86, Juan Tamariz, I don't know what it is, Nicholas Knight, Alpha, all these lecture notes. I have them, but there's one thing. Oh, Tom Sony, my good old friend, Tom Sony, he's here. And lecture notes, Geoffrey Buckingham, I got it in the 50s. And from these many lecture notes, I'm proud to tell you I didn't read a single one. So that's why I don't send you lecture notes. You will never read them. But I will read all these 40 years of lecture notes, because the winter will be cold and very long. I'm sure for you. I will read this stuff during the winter lock time. First advice, I want to give you some advice for the young magician. First advice, don't listen so much at the advice, because most of the advice is good for other people, but it's not good for you. When I was young, they told me to work elegant and sophisticated. Gianni Pollock was the king. And I didn't want to work like Janik Pollock. I wanted to work very fast. And I did a fast act, which I called the fastest magic act in the world. From this act I started, it was very difficult to start because it was in the late 60s, but I did it. And then one day I was discovered by the Olympia, and we called this act pop magic. This was completely new. And since then, I have waiting list for this act, which I call pop magic. So first advice, don't listen so much about advice. But in my long life, remember, there is, in my long life, the best advice I ever got was Johnny Thompson, the great Thompsoni. And I came to Las Vegas in the Hilton. He gave me two advice. The first advice, remember all the names. And the second advice, don't do overtime. So I could hold for nearly 1 year, even more than 1 year. And when I got my notice, when I was fired, they took me back after 3 months because I followed the rules of Thompsoni and the rules of mine, which you will hear later in the chapter, the art of getting fired. And now let's talk about technique. I built an act with canes, and most of the magicians, they just buy a cane, but they cannot use it. So I put together some ideas about canes, and I built this act 40 years ago, and most of the passes I do now, everybody does it, and I'm very proud of this. So when I die and when I come back 150 years later, I want to see you on this basis. You make something personal. So I don't lose hope. You will develop more and more and more. First thing, if you get, oh, Walter Rolfo is here. Walter Rolfo, I see your name. First thing, when you get a cane, it is like this. It's metal cane. It comes in a bag. This was my last canes I got. It was 30 canes. I ordered them in Germany. They're in this bag. And when you get a cane, you take them out and you start to use them. And I will tell you something. The most important thing if you do canes, a good cane must be completely silent. Krista, give me a paper, please. Yeah. A good cane must be silent. Because if you hear a cane, this gives the idea this is something mechanic. So every new cane you get, you must work them for about 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, so it does not make any noise anymore. Now, this cane is shit, it makes noise. So you work the cane, you clean it, This cane comes from which I have 20 years, but I didn't open the bag. So you clean them inside, outside, you make them in the hand, you make them majorette, you clean them and more and more. And I don't want to do now 20 minutes cleaning the cane, but very important, a cane which makes noise is not a good cane. So that's why I make it a little more strong. And when the cane comes, this cane was completely silent. Very, very important. Producing a cane without noise. No noise. There's another version for taking out the cane. You take, Krista, come here. Hi, young man. You can do this in close-up. There's a way to make appear canes. You don't hear anything. Oh, you have a nice jacket. Oh, a nice jacket. Oh, what is in the jacket? Oh, here's a cane coming out. No noise. Thank you, young man. Thank you. So, no noise. Take a cane out. There's one thing. I love it so much. I will do it now 100 times. there's this. I invented this thing, and I will show it to you. So first cane appears. Where's the silk? Hop, here's here, and then you go with the second hand, hop, and you do double them. And I don't like this elegant move which they did in the 60s to make this elegant. There are two canes, because this move gives the audience the idea you stretch the canes and the canes opens. So this is better. Here I have another one. You can see it.
Hey, Otto.
Yeah.
Kevin James here.
Kevin James is here.
Hey, could you do us a big favor and just tip your camera down just a little bit?
A little down. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is this good?
A little, just a tiny bit more, maybe.
A tiny bit more. I do whatever you want. I'm a good pupil. We did the Crazy Horse together. So I have a silk. Only a silk. I turn around. The silk opens, and on the other side comes another cane, and no noise. Very, very important for the canes. You will see when I do my act, because after I do my act, you never know, somebody will book it maybe. When I do my act, you will see there's no cane which makes noise. The loading, the second cane, I will show it to you. You take all the maggots. You take one cane, and the people think you take a silk. You will see it in the act. Then I throw the other cane in another hand. Now I have here the silk. The silk, whop, gets the cane, and I do the double. So this is one move before you're ahead of one move, and everybody thinks you just had one silk. I will do this several times in the act with the canes, the double. Very good thing to produce a cane, I invented this, is produce this. Light me a cigarette, please.
Oh, it's a pleasure for me.
You have a banknote, let's say 20 euro. Christa will light the cigarettes, and then you light the flash paper. You light the flash paper. You burn it, hop, and there's a cane in the flash. Be careful, don't burn your hand. I did not burn the hand, but it looks like. I do the same with flash paper to the cane, to the disappearing cane. So now we come to the disappearing cane. The disappearing cane is even more difficult than the appearing cane, because this move, most of the people, they have the disappearing cane, they have two ridiculous silks. So there are many other things to put in cane, whatever, elephants, tigers, confettis, silks. You can put this in a cane, you can make a cane change, whatever. So, show that this became, there's one thing, don't do the two silks. At least if you want to do it with the silk, this very cane, then you take one silk and you do this at the beginning of your act. I don't do this anymore. I've done this gag for 20 years until always get a good laugh. But one day in the audience, somebody said, ha, 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 ha. So I think this is out of fashion, but you can put a silk with something else. You will find something. So now we are through. I want to show you some collector. You see this cane? I open it. Wow, it makes noise, but never mind. This cane, I painted it in 1976, which is a long time ago. And, you know, I painted it color. And I was the first magician using colored canes. And when Macadendo met me the first time, he told to me, Otto, I've seen you in a TV show, you do these canes, and this gave me the idea to paint the canes. And now Macatendo did the most beautiful canes in color, in pink. The pink one was Macatendo. Yeah, so this is the old antiquity. And another cane I want to show you. I got it from Mayoral. From Mayoral. This cane, I love it so much. I never use it in the show, but maybe one day I will use. Hop, the cane is here. No noise. Look at this cane. Look at this cane. It's the same height as I. This is my darling, and one day I will use it. Levitation cane, the dancing cane. One thing is very. Kevin, I hear you.
Otto?
Yeah.
That's
It's
yeah. Hello, my friend.
Right.
I don't know because it's difficult. I've known my name. I can't write question, but what's the kind of paint you were using? Like bomb, spray paint?
It was 40 years ago. I used the painting where I make for the bathtub. You make it white, then you have to leave it dry for 1 month, and then you can use it. And in between layers, you must take 1 hour or 1 month. This was the opposite. I still have it here. I will give it to you to Mother's Day. Levitation cane, dancing cane. There are normally many misunderstandings. For me, a dancing cane should not be this small stick. It looks like a majorette, and there's one thing, one mistake that people do when they do the dancing cane. The cane must stay completely vertical. If the cane is not vertical, it kills the illusion. So this cane is vertical completely. Look, it floats now. And now Christy will catch it. She did, and it was flying in the room. Second mistake with the Levitation. Bring me the cane again. Second mistake the people do when they take the thread. I found a system where the cane is here. The thread is here. So I go with the finger and I have the thread in my hand. Because if you take a cane and you're looking for this, does not so look good. So let's do it again, a beautiful levitation. And never do this. Never do this. There's no reason. Your hands are full of magical fluid. So you are directing the cane. Instead the cane will come back. She catches it. She catched it even in the Piazza di Castello in Torino. And now I will show you the act with the canes.
No, but Otto, really what you share now is so clever because I've never seen this hookup before. And can you show again? Because it's really, really clever.
But with the thread.
Yeah, of course, with the thread.
Of course. So Christy, you can already
also what you say about the verticality of the cane, I think makes a difference completely.
If the cane goes like this,
and what is here is the music you use, because your music is so eerie, you know, kind of wobbly music, whatever.
It depends, yeah.
Yeah.
I must tell you one secret. The act is about 50 years old.
Okay.
I change, but every 15 years I change the music. So it's
who's the new girl you have as an assistant?
What?
Who is the new young girl you have as an assistant right now?
This is yours, 1900.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
How are you, my darling?
So finish your private life is not my problem.
Okay.
So the cane is here. What else you can do? You can take a microphone. Same thing with the thread. You get the thread and you do it. Floating cane with the microphone. And you have the magic power more than Mike Jagger. So now I will do the act for you. I need a picture. Yes, here we are. what you can put in the cane, silks, animals, tigers, but I have one cane with this, as I will stop the act, I put confetti in the cane. This picture was taken in the Olympia from the best photographer in the world, Patrick Ullmann, and this was during the show. He took this picture during the show. So the secret of canes, of disappearing canes, put the maximum of things in it, not 3 confettis and they're falling down. It's calm and it snows on you. Now you will see this act, the same act. I did it for 15,000 people on the Piazza di Castello in Torino. Here's it. And today, the first time in my life, I will do the same act for 1 computer and for the 2 people that look at me. Christa, cigarette, please. So, this is the box. Let's put on the music.
Wow. And let's start.
So now I've blown Garnier. This music is already 20 years old. Well, this was some mistakes, but anyway, you get an idea of the fastest act in the world, 1968. And now, if you have some questions, write them down, and Gaetan will read it.
Well, you know, most of the time people say you should never repeat twice the same kind of effect.
Yeah, this is.
You should never turn your back to the audience and things like that.
Later on,
And then
The
the
rules,
first time I saw you, you were just doing this for 10 minutes.
I will teach
Turning
you the
your
rules.
back, grabbing canes after canes, and all, blah, 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 blah.
The 10 most idiotic rules you can give to young magicians. I have a collection of 10. Let's start with this. Never do twice the same thing. This is number 7, I think. This is bullshit. First thing to say to the young magicians, magic is not easy. When you never did trapeze, where you did 3 flaps and whatever, magic is easy, and I can prove it. I go afternoon. When I was 16, I went in a joke shop. I bought 3 tricks, and the next day I did it in the school because we had to do something about the artistic. I did these three tricks which I bought before, and I got it 20 to 20. When sur 20, I don't know so how you say in Italy or in the other countries. Anyway, 9, advice number 9, was as stupid as the other one. Don't copy anybody. This is impossible at the beginning. And except one man did it, he never copied anybody, but he was a genius. I was Alain Bernardin from the Crazy Horse. He said, when I started doing the Crazy Horse, I didn't know anything. I didn't take any inspiration, whatever. And so I had to invent everything. But this was Bernardin, this is exception. But if you start, just copy this, and then you make it different. But at the beginning, it's impossible. To understand magic, you should know the history of magic. Well, okay, now I learned the history, but I've been 40 years in the business. Never tell them before, tell them in advance what you're doing. This is completely stupid. If there's a girl lying on the bed and you make like this, well, everybody knows she will float. If you, amène moi une pastis, s'il te plaît. Il est là. And if you coming with an empty animal cage on the stage and you put a silk on it, everybody knows the very big animal will appear. So another shit. Look, yeah, I heard magicians, they said that there was a discussion 20 years ago. They said, where I have to look when I'm on stage. And the other magician said, you look just where the balcony is, and here you look. So everybody will have the idea, you look in his eyes. This is not true. If you're going out in a cabaret, there are 5 people, you look at the 5 people. You're not idiot. If there are 500 people, automatically you look at the 500 people. And if you work for 15,000 people, you look around because there are so many people. So there's no rules where to look. That is pack small. Pack small, play big. That's why we see so many times on stage, the magician comes out with this little trunk, takes out the sponge balls. Even the thread, I've never seen so many times the threads, the small thread on big stages. Gaton does it good because it takes 10 people around, but normally a thread doesn't have to do anything on the stage. Never show 2 times the same trick. Gaton, you told it. Here I showed about 15 times the same trick. Only show a trick if you can do it perfect. This is not possible for especially for a beginner, because you rehearse and then you want to show it to somebody. And there's one rule: one rehearsal in front of the audience is 10 rehearsals at home in front of the mirror. They are not bad tricks, they are only bad magicians. So I made a list for the 10 worst magic tricks. I think even Copperfield couldn't do anything with it. So they're very bad tricks. Forget them. The balloon does not burst. The needle comes through. doesn't burst. Oh, the wallet in fire, the underwear between the silks, the fountain of silks. Oh, the linking, not the linking rings, the linking ropes. I've seen them so many times. Ropes, the linking ropes. Oh, there's another. It's terrible. The transloop cube is the zigzag, only two things. The tube Raymond is a tube. You put the paper and then I cover the silk out forever, forever. And they gave me the advice to do it very slowly. Terrible, forget these tricks. And the winner is, what is the winner for the worst tricks? It is the canes and the razor blades. The winner of the 10 advice is a magician, is an actor playing the part of a magician, Jean-Eugène Houdin. Listen, if you're an actor, you would play, you would be in a film, you make Titanic, you're in a theater, you make Hamlet. But if you're a magician, you are a magician. You can a magician play in different situations. But I've never seen make actor the Copperfield, idol Copperfield. He acts in the situation, but he does not act. No? So Franco Dragone, who did all the shows in Las Vegas, but once I was in his show, and he said to me, Otto, if you act already badly. So don't think you act, just do your thing. Voilà, that was it. The art of getting fired, the second part now, the second part, very important. If you follow this, you will stay in show business for the next 50 years.
Otto,
Yes.
I don't completely agree with all that, but it's very interesting to.
This is my opinion.
Listen to you always. So in fact, in your 10 worst magic tricks, you end with the canes and the blades. So, and you make huge success doing that.
Yeah,
so
it was a joke. The canes and the razor blades are very good tricks. I did a joke because I got quite famous in the business for the canes and for the razor blades. So it was a joke.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm with you.
So now really.
No, but it's a good thing, because another thing will be to think, maybe it takes a very bad trick kind of and make a huge success, and then everybody will think, wow, that's the way to do it.
Well, I never saw somebody a really huge success with the pom-poms or with the balloon, with the needle. Come on. They are bad and good tricks. Canes is a very good trick, and the razor blades too. So, mot d'emploi, advice, if you get fired or somebody doesn't give you a contract to come back, you should take this as good news, because you are fired. And the most orgastic is when you get fired and they say you can leave immediately. But this luck didn't happen to me so often. So the last day, you make a little fiesta, so we will never forget you. You buy some things for everybody. You make a fiesta. Don't forget the drugs, and everybody will be happy in the cabaret. I did this in the Paradis Latin. Next, you are going to this place where they fired you, but you're coming as a customer. You were sitting in the audience. They serve you champagne. Most of the time, they don't let you pay. But if they let you pay, you give them the money. So they will remember you, but never a bad word. The last day, a good joke. And this good joke is not so easy to find. Once I got fired from the Scala in Madrid. They hated my act and I hated them. But the last day, I went down for the finale. You walk stairs down, and I walked down with Krista, and we had all our trunks. We had normal costumes, and we did not go back in the dressing room. We went out straight in front of the door with all our trunks. We put it in the car and we left. 20 years later, I've seen one of the dancers, and he told me this was the most funny thing I've ever seen since 20 years. So they will never forget it. And don't forget it, they will call you back. If they say to you, if they say to you, never we will book you again, then you say, and take your words. And nobody could hold it long time. Crazy Horse one time, 8 years, Tiger Palace in Germany. 18 years is the winner, and the Wintergarten in Berlin, 12 years, but they called me back. And then one thing to say, but never, if you meet your ex-boss in some meeting, in some in some sex shop or whatever, you talk about anything, you're friendly, but never say, whenever you take me back. This thing brings bad luck. Never say it, because if they want you, they call you back. But don't say whenever you take me back. If they took you back, if they took you back, then you start like you never left. And there's a Kultusminister in France, is called Jacques Lang. And Jacques Lang was Kultusminister. He got fired 2 times. He came 2 times, he came back. Then he was again Kultusminister, and again Minister de la Culture. So he came back as he never left. Good lesson. And one thing, when the Hilton in Las Vegas, when they told me, Otto, in 3 months is your last day because this and this and this. Next day, I went to Variety. This is the biggest newspaper for show business. It's called Variety, and they put a $2,000 publicity. I put it in. I have it here. It's written, "Thank you, Las Vegas Hilton, for making me the funniest act in Las Vegas. Your friend and faithful performer, Otto Wessely." Came out 2 days later. The boss smiled at me. He never said, we've seen your advertising. But the result was, when I had my last week, he asked me to stay. Voila. So this was the art of getting fired. Now, do you still have time? How much time I have? Oh, is there anyone out here?
Yeah.
Yeah. What time is it?
I cannot, yeah, I don't know how long time you have.
Well, I have 1 hour.
You have something on your glasses.
Oh, we have 20 minutes more to go. Maybe I forgot something.
Otto,
Yes.
remove your glasses and blow. You have something white on them.
Oh,
Side. Yeah.
is it better?
Not so much, but yeah, of course.
Yeah. So now, for the end, I show you.
No, it's on. Yeah. Okay. Now we're okay. Yeah.
On stage, I never wear glasses, so the people can see my eyes when I look everybody in his eyes, especially 15,000 people. I will show you now a sequel of comic magic. It's called The Poetry of Animals. And as already Topas told it this morning, he said, you work better in an equipe. So for this sequel, sorry, put it here. Now we put it a little down. We put it down. For this sequel, I had the help of 8 magicians. There's no one idea I came up with. Very well. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? The Poetry of Animals. That's number 2, number 3, number 4. Oh, I did so many pages. Number 5. Yes. So the magicians, they helped me with this. They found solutions. Is Claude Haribo. Claude Haribo from the French Magic Club. Rudy Kobe. Everybody knows Rudy Kobe. He gave me another idea. James Dimer gave me another idea. Siegfried Roy gave me one idea. Cyril, this was a stagehand from the Crazy Horse, gave me another idea. Then one dresser girl from the Circus Roncalli, she gave me another idea. And then Jocelyn Haas is a friend of mine, a magician, he gave me another idea. And the last idea came from Hugues Brotin. So now you will see the animals How you open this? Krista, how this open? Where's the other record?
It's open.
It's open, yeah. No, it is, there was another record here.
Da unten bei den
Here it is. So you can go, and in the meantime, you can go for smoke a cigarette and put on the music.
I can make a strip.
Krista can make a strip, yeah, be so kind. Reading, yeah. So now we start. Music is here. The poetry of animals. And after I will explain you who invented what. Krista, bring the table here. She was a songwriter before. Poetry of animals. Allez! Hop! You see this? When it is on the floor, it's very unhappy, like dying. Oh! And don't do it on computer. Oh, nasty, right? Floating rabbit. Don't stop the music. So this was the poetry of animals. And it started, and then I wanted to do a rabbit floating. So I was thinking about Asra, about all these possibilities. And then I had a friend. There's the rabbit. Oh, it's still here. Oh, the rabbit is still here. And a friend made this rabbit for me. Krista, my wife, she did the rabbit. And in this rabbit, something comes out and the rabbit stays in the air. Okay. So this was Haribo. Krista, take your darling.
Pleasure.
And you shut up.
But yes, you can.
I forgot something. When the rabbit is, here's the rabbit here who pissed in the audience. I pissed on the rabbit. So I forgot this because Lotta gave me the idea. So, rabbit, yeah. So a friend, it's called Haribo, he did me this rabbit. Then I wanted to make it disappear. So I thought I will make an asra. It floats. I make the silk and the rabbit disappears. So I asked the magicians and I talked with Rudy Kobe. And Rudy Kobe told me, listen, why I don't take the killer hand? So I took the killer hand and it was the same effect. The rabbit disappeared under the silk. But what he told me, I always wanted to go in the hand. He told me this is not necessary. You have the killer hand, you go over the hand, and then you do whatever you want. But when the rabbit disappears, the silk with the stick is still here. So I was thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And then came up James Demare. And James Demare said to me, listen, you can make it disappear. How? With a cane. You're the king of canes. Of course, I'm so stupid. So I put in the cane hand, I put a very strong cane, Voilà, here it is. I show you even the preparation. If somebody wants to do the act, there's no problem. I have already somebody who does it, but he pays me only 20%, not so much. So yeah, this stick goes in the Geleit. So here you are. So when I cover the rabbit, the second hand takes the rabbit. Ooh, here's the second hand. Takes the rabbit. Then the rabbit floats, and then the disappearing cane makes disappear everything. Right? And when this rabbit pisses in the audience, I got it from a dresser girl. She made me a rabbit, and this rabbit was too small to go in the sleeve. So she told me, I take it back. This was in the circus. I said, no, don't take it back. I bought for $3. I bought zinc, I put water in it, and then it comes out. And in the circus, you piss in the audience, there's nothing more funny. But in the show was Brotter, and he did just 5 minutes before I did a rabbit in the face of the audience. He did a real rabbit, and the real rabbit was pissing. So I was pissed off, and he was standing in the wings. And I said, you are so nasty. I will revenge me. And I went to him and I pissed in his face, in the wings. But normally I piss on the rabbit. It's very, very funny. It isn't funny like this, but it's very funny. So that was it. This was the poetry of animals. Thank you. It's part of the comic act. Eitan, you're still here? So can I go? Is school finished? Now I want to answer you all the questions you need. Somebody here? Kevin, where are you?
Yeah, I'm here, Otto.
Yeah, we worked in the Crazy Horse. You still remember, not the pissing rabbits?
Yeah. One of my favorite bits was Otto, take off your glove.
Take off my glove.
You
Yeah.
remember that? You remember that one?
You remember?
Oh, it was great.
I have it in my backyard standing. Yeah, but you come out with normal hands, and you take off your glove, and under the glove is another hand. So the hand was a glove. It's not so funny if you tell it, but it's funny. So now the second part, we talk about comic. What is important for comic? You cannot do just some idiotic tricks. You must write a script. There was Sibel, a man in France, and he said, il n'y a pas de comique sans écriture, which means if you cannot write something, then there's no comics anymore. The last comic in France was Louis de Funès. He was just interpreter, but he was so good, he was a genius. But normally all the comics which come out, they write something, they have a script, and for a comic act, it's very important, this script. So when we built this act together, we were writing the script before. The script, this went on for 2 weeks, and a whole box of wine. And then we had the act, and then we built the props. I have an act at the table, I guess a beers under the table, and many things. And it's called the World Master of Elegance. So when we had all the props, we did the act first time in Milano. In Milano c'è Papa Felice, Rolfo. Conosci? No, he's gone already. He's gone already in the girl's place. Okay, so I did it in the Astoria. First day, act went on for 25 minutes. And he did not book me, but there's no problem. Then we went to another club, and the act was 18 minutes, and then was 17 minutes. Every day it was a little shorter, and And at the end, the act went on for 10, 15 minutes. And we put on